Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, and since it's Wednesday, that means I'm on the website, W for Wednesday, we're so clever, and I'm on YouTube. So if you asked your questions under yesterday's video, I'll try to get through some of them later tonight, just answering them one by one, but I've picked 2 from YouTube and 2 from the website, and then I have a journal topic. So, and sorry about yesterday's video, Sean was trying out a new camera, and it didn't work. It was horrible. And that's why it took forever to upload, because first of all, the audio was really quiet. If you noticed, you couldn't even hear me. It was horrible. And so I thought I was going to have to do it again. And then we had to export it, and it was a nightmare. And then I thought it went up yesterday evening before I went to bed, but then I woke up to no video, and I was like, WTF, YouTube, so annoying. But anyway, so now I'm back on my phone, my regular recording device for vlogging. And it was weird to have Sean recording a vlog because I'm not used to having anybody recording me but me. And I was like, this feels weird. I feel like I'm doing a topic video. If you notice at the end, I was like, towards a healthy mind, a healthy body, like I do in my other videos. And I was like, what's happening? Okay, so anyway, I'm chatting too much. I have to get through my questions. First question. If you call a suicide hotline, who will you be talking to? What will they say? What will they do? What will happen? What will they ask? By the way, this is for a friend, not me, as she has thoughts and wants to know what will happen if she calls. Thanks. Okay, so if you call a suicide hotline, you talk to someone like myself. Actually, it'll be someone who's an intern usually, because it's one of those jobs that doesn't pay at all or not very much, and us interns, we end up working those jobs, and that's fine. And it'll be, usually you have to take this cell phone with you and you're on call for X amount of hours, and there are a bunch of people doing this, so your chances are you're just going to get someone just like me. What will they say? They will ask you about, they'll do a basic suicide assessment, and that means that they will ask, you know, do you have a plan? What are your thoughts like? How long has this been going on? And then they'll just try to talk you down. A lot of you I know have called suicide hotlines, so can you please leave your feedback below? Because I know that many of you have had good experiences with it and you've called multiple times. So nothing's better than our actual personal experience, right? Yeah, so I think that's it. Nothing really happens. If they're really worried for your safety, they're going to try to find out where you live, because they're going to want to send a PET team or some kind of PET team. I think it stands for psychological evaluation team. I can't quite remember, but they're just the people that you call to make sure that if I have a suicidal patient, that's who I call to make sure that they're okay. So they just want to keep you safe. It's nothing scary. They're not going to force you into doing anything or ask you a bunch of questions. They just want to make sure that you're okay. Question number 2. Hey Katie, is it normal to judge others and immediately find them unattractive and ugly? I really hate to judge others because no one has the right to, and I try to replace that with positive thoughts, and it helps. Why is this happening, by the way? I have really low self-esteem, if that helps. I thought this was really interesting. A lot of you commented back on this. So if you're the person who asked this, I know that you haven't added me on Google Plus because I couldn't reply and let you know I was going to answer this, and other people replied to you and couldn't reply either, so they just used your username. This happens when we feel really bad about ourselves. It oozes out into everything. Oh no. And I find if I'm in a really shitty mood, I'm grouchy with everybody. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Driving so terrible. Who are you? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Because we're in such a bad headspace that we have no other outlet. And oftentimes when we can't tell whoever we're really upset about, or if it's actually nothing and we're just tired or hungry or whatever, oftentimes we just judge people. We look at people on the street and we're like, I can't believe she wore that, oh my God, or what, da, da, da. And we judge. And it's not usually indicative of the person. It's not about us. We're not a bad person, is what I mean to say. And it also isn't about the person that we're judging, because most of the time they're not even ugly, unattractive, stupid. We're just frustrated, and we're just full of hate and ugly stuff a lot of the time, and so it's oozing out. And like you said, replacing it with positive thoughts really helps. And just being aware. I find that if I notice how many times I'm aggressive or angry or frustrated or judging to other people, the more apt I am to say, I sit back and I think, it's really not that bad. And that person actually, I'm sure they're very sweet. You can just lie because we don't know them, right? We're judging them negatively, so let's judge them positively. So say things like, I bet she spent a lot of time getting ready. I bet she's really nice. Or maybe she had a really hard day. Maybe she's running really late, blah, blah, blah. You know, cut them some slack. We'd hope the same from others, right? So I find doing the positive talk really helps, and usually is happening, to answer the question directly, it usually happens because we're feeling really badly about ourselves and we're judging ourselves so much that it's coming out that way too. Okay? Question number 3. Is it normal to have trouble deciding whether it's your healthy voice or your eating disorder voice telling you to eat/exercise? For example, sometimes I've already eaten a decent meal and I can't tell if my healthy voice is telling me to eat because I didn't eat enough, or if it's my ED voice telling me to binge. The same with exercise, and I do it to be healthy, but my eating disorder wants me to do it excessively, etc. This is a really good question, and I hear this a lot from my clients, like, but I don't know which one, I can't distinguish. Now, this is where the intuitive eating workbook is the bomb. It is amazing. It really helps us. It can help people who don't even struggle with eating disorder actively right now, help us actually listen to our body. So something that I do tell my clients to do is to gauge your hunger and fullness level, which they'll talk about in that book. If you haven't looked into the intuitive eating workbook, look into it. It's amazing. But you'll rate your hunger on a scale from, I think it's 0 or 1, I'm not sure, till 10. Now 0 being like, I will murder you for food, I'm so hungry, oh my God. 10 being like, I could bend over and throw up right now, I'm so full. Ideally, we want to start eating when we're around a 4, when we think, I am kind of hungry, wow, I'm really hungry. And we want to stop around a 7. An 8 is like, oh, I had 2 bites too many. A 9 is like, I feel stuffed to the gills. Do you see what I mean? How we kind of gauge? And I find it really helpful to start trying to use that. So how hungry am I? Well, I'm kind of hungry right now. Maybe I'm about a 6 or a 5. I should probably start thinking about what I want to make for dinner. And then as you're eating, make sure that you're not taking hours to eat, obviously. But within the half hour that you're eating or 20 minutes that you're eating, check in with yourself. Am I feeling pretty full? How am I doing? Am I eating the full portion that my dietitian told me to? Am I adding more? Am I eating less? Just start checking in and then rating your hunger and fullness. I also sometimes will have my clients rate their emotion, like scale of emotions, at the same time that we do food. Like, how hungry are you? Well, I'm like a 4, so my emotion is like an 8 because I'm getting hungry and I'm freaking out. So those can really help you. And if any of you have tips about this, leave your comments below. But that tends to help my clients gauge emotionalness and hunger and fullness. And also for exercise, I find that doing like a set regimen for a while can be the most helpful, like 30 minutes of walking 3 times a week, and then we see how we do. And we talk to our doctor and we have them implement a plan for us so that we can stick to that structure until we feel okay doing it on our own, okay? And if you're tired or sick, don't work out. Don't do it. It's bad. Your body needs the rest. Just tell yourself, Katie would say, it's okay to rest. Bodies need rest. If we're not feeling good, don't do anything extra. Okay? Question number 4. I am 38 and seeking out professional help for the first time to deal with issues from being abused as a child. My dad, mom, and brother were all abusive to me in different ways growing up. My mom is gone now, but I fear that my therapist will want me to confront my dad and or brother or write to them or write them out of my life, and I don't want to do either. My relationships with them may not be perfect, but they're still part of my life, and I still love them very much. The only outcome to confronting them that I can envision would be damaging for both of us. Therapists aren't going to force you to do anything. We may ask you to confront within yourself your abuser, maybe writing letters you don't send, but if you don't have any of that built up animosity or anger or hurt that's still lingering, then they wouldn't ask you to do that anyways. But if you do, it's something we're worried more about you healing for you, not doing anything outwardly to them. That is at your discretion. It's your choice because you know your relationship with them. You know what you can say and do. And if you're wanting to build a relationship, then it'll mostly be the work with you and then how you work on communicating with them. Now, some people like to say that they forgive them to their abusers at some point, like, you know, Dad, I love you and I forgive you for what happened in the past. That might be something you do more for you than for him. And that's not really confrontational. It's just a thing that you say, you know, I've been working on it in therapy and letting the past go, and this is part of that. But it's something that you'll talk about with your therapist. So never feel like your therapist is forcing you to do things, okay? And if you have a therapist that's like, you got to do this, I think you should look for another one because it's supposed to be something we do together, like a dance kind of, maybe like a salsa. No, I'm just kidding. Now I'm getting off track. But you know what I mean. It's more of us working together as a team, meeting you where you're at and making sure you get the support that you need at that time, okay? And speaking of dancing, I've got my journal topic, music therapy. What does it mean to you? Have you tried it before? I love music as therapy. And I'm not talking, I don't know if there are actual musical therapists. There probably are. I know there are art therapists and people who do like movement therapy, like dance and stuff. And that can be really healing. But for me, I find music to be so therapeutic and so incorporated into my life in a way that I find helpful, whether I need upbeat, happy music, you know, like sometimes people even listen to Disney tunes to get you really riled up, or like dance music or rap music, and or yoga-y music where it's like you don't even know what the words are, la la la, but it really helps you mellow out. So I would encourage you to share songs. We're all looking for new music all the time, right? Share some new songs you like, and tell us what mood they go with, and let's figure out a better way to use music to help us out. And if you haven't tried it, try putting on some happy music if you need to be more happy, and mellow music if your anxiety's through the roof, and see what happens, right? We never know. And let me know what you think. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll be on Twitter because it's Thursday, so ask your questions there. Bye!